Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today we will explain a cybercrime-based movie named Blackhat, which was released in 2015. In this movie we will see a hacker group hack 3 banks simultaneously and steal 74 million. Their hacking methods are so advanced and complex that the police are forced to seek the help of a hacker who is in jail. The end of the story is full of twists and suspense which will leave you surprised. So definitely watch the video till the end. And friends, don't forget to like, comment on the video, and if you're new to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe. So at the beginning of the story, we see a nuclear power station in Hong Kong. Someone has hacked its control system and shut down all the cooling fans there, due to which the power station becomes extremely hot and a huge explosion occurs in it. Many people are injured and many are killed in the blast. This news is shown in all news channels. Next we see Alex, the police's cybersecurity head. Alex was in a meeting with his senior officers about the explosion. There he says that someone has hacked the system of this power plant, and the hacker has used a malware named Rate, which can be controlled remotely. This malware cannot be inserted into any system through the internet. Therefore, someone must have entered the power plant and manually inserted the malware into the system. So now we have to find the person who did this. But the surprising thing was that the hackers neither asked for any money from anyone nor threatened to kill anyone. The meaning was clear that his intention was something else. Well, now on the other side, we see a young man named Nick in a prison in America. Because Nick was found with a phone, the prison authorities took him out of his cell and interrogated him because he is a hacker and they think he might be involved in the power plant hacking. But when nothing is found on Nick, he is put back in the cell. Now the scene shifts and we see China's cybersecurity office, where 2 officers named Carol and Henry are talking about Alex. Alex has graduated in computer science from MIT, America's largest university, and his sister Leanne has also graduated in network engineering from MIT. Now on the other hand, Alex was sitting in his house and watching the code being run by hackers, when suddenly he sees some familiar code, and he gets completely shocked after seeing it. Then later he meets his sister Leanne and says that when I was studying in MIT, a friend of mine and I wrote some hacking codes, and these hackers are using the same codes. So I need your help to investigate this matter. Meanwhile, the next day hackers carried out a cyber attack on a stock exchange. Then the next day, during a meeting in the cybersecurity office, a man named Daniel tells everyone about the cyber attack on the stock exchange and that 2 types of codes have been used in the attack. First, someone pushed Rate malware into the system. Later, another malware named Payload was inserted through the same platform. Looking at the code, it seems that both the codes have been written by 2 different people. Alex then takes Carl and Gunnery to a separate room and tells them that the hackers used the code I wrote to hack. I wrote this code during my college days, and I had a friend of mine, Nick, with me. He is very expert in hacking, and we will have to take his help in this case. But neither of them was ready to listen to Alex. Now the very next day, Carol again comes to Alex with a theft report and tells that this time the hackers have attacked 4 banks simultaneously and stolen a total of 46 million. They are now moving towards the financial markets, and we have to catch them as soon as possible. Alex mentions his friend Nick again, but this time Carol agrees and send a man to get Nick. But Nick puts a condition before working with them. He says that I will work with you people, but in return you will have to forgive all my punishments and release me from jail. Then the man replied that your condition will be accepted only if you catch the hackers. Nick then meets Alex and Carol outside the prison. Alex's sister Leanne is also present there. While they're on a plane back to China, Alex shows Nick the code used by the hackers. But Carol gets a little irritated seeing the laptop in Nick's hands because she still can't trust Nick. But after Alex and Leanne convince her, she agrees. After this, Nick analyzes the hacker's code after looking at the servers of that stock exchange. Then he tells that someone came here and physically inserted the rat malware, and then through that another virus was inserted into the system. Hearing this, Carol asks the staff there if anyone has left the company recently. They then discover that a man named Alonzo recently left the company and also had access to the system. Hearing this, Nick understands that Alonso is the one who put the virus there. Nick extracts more information about Alonso from Henry. Nick tells everyone that these hackers aren't hacking for money like the rest. His motive is something else. We need to meet with Alonso as soon as possible and extract information from him. Nick then takes Alex and Leanne to Alonso's house. But when they reach there, they see that Alonso is dead. When they search his house, they find many hacking tools there. Checking Alonso's computer, Nick sees that he was chatting with someone. Now Nick sends a message to that person using Alonso's ID and asks him to meet at a restaurant. On the other hand, Carol and Alex meet Gary, a senior official at the stock exchange. Carol says we need all the data of the people who are trading in your exchange. We'll see if this can provide any clues. But Gary refuses to give the data. Then Carol talks about revealing some of his past deeds to the world. Then finally Gary is forced to agree to give them the data. Meanwhile, Nick and Leanne were sitting and waiting at the restaurant where they were invited to meet while chatting. Leanne asks Nick, "Why were you in jail?" Nick reveals that he used to steal money by hacking the bank system. But one day he was caught and sentenced to 13 years in prison. While talking, Nick realizes that both of them have been sitting there for a long time. But no one has come to meet him yet. Seeing this, he gets suspicious. He goes to the cabin behind the restaurant and sees that there is a motion-sensing camera monitor installed there. Nick realizes that the hackers really came here, and he had been keeping an eye on Nick for quite some time. Nick talks to the hacker from the computer there, but the hacker abuses him and disconnects the line. Nick then tries to escape with Leanne. Then some people enter the restaurant and attack him. But Nick kills everyone and escapes with Leanne. Well, now on the other hand, Carol and Alex are checking the data of stock exchange clients. Then he sees that a total of 74 million has been transferred to all three banks at the same time. And all three of those banks are based in Hong Kong. Nick calls Alex to tell him that hackers have used Alonso to learn our identities. So instead of chasing this clue, we should track the money transactions. Only then will we be able to reach the hackers quickly. Alex then asks his sister, Leanne, to take Nick and arrive in Hong Kong the next morning. The next morning, Nick and Leanne prepare to leave for Hong Kong. But the very next day, there's an explosion in another nuclear power plant. After reaching there, Alex and his team interrogate the power plant staff whether the hacker had made any kind of demand or money when he hacked the system and caused the blast in the plant. Then the staff refused. Leanne says that when a machine suddenly turns off, it saves the instant memory to the hard drive. If it is checked, the real IP of the hacker may be found. Then the staff tells that the hard drive is in our server room. But the entire area is so hot that it is impossible to go inside right now. After this, all three of them meet a police officer named Tech, who have been tracking hackers for some time. Tech explains that the hackers are coming and going from 3 different routes, but they never meet each other. When Nick opens all 3 paths simultaneously, he sees that all 3 paths meet at one place. They plan to search the area. There they find a pickup van, which is being searched by the police. He told that a man named Kazar sits in a restaurant every day and waits for someone, but does not meet anyone. He texts someone and leaves. Hearing this, Nick's suspicion increases, and he feels that they are using some short-range device to communicate. So he goes to the restaurant and waits. But after a long wait and not finding anything suspicious, Nick starts checking the Wi-Fi signal there with Tech's phone. Following the signal, he recovers a short-range Bluetooth transmitter. Returning to the van, Nick tells that Kazar did not send messages to anyone while sitting in the restaurant. Instead, he used to enter the code in the Bluetooth transmitter, and when the people of his team passed by that Bluetooth transmitter, they used to receive the code, and the message for them was hidden inside that code. Now, Carol talks about capturing Kaiser and reaching out to the others through him. But Alex says he wouldn't say anything even if he gets caught. We better keep following him. When the time comes, all the information can be extracted from it. The next morning, a police unit monitors Kasser from the rooftop. But Kazar becomes aware of their presence and escapes from there. Meanwhile, Alex's team monitors the 3 banks in Hong Kong and sees that money is being transferred from all 3 banks at the same time. By tracking the transactions, they discover that the money is being cashed out from a Chinese casino. Alex splits the team into 2. He himself takes Nick in a helicopter and heads towards Castor's hideout. When the police team reaches Khazar's hideout, they find that he has escaped from there. During the search, they find a tunnel, and a team descends into the tunnel to capture him. On the other hand, Alex and Nick reach the exit point of the tunnel with the other team. Inside the tunnel, Khazar and his team kill people and come out. Alex's team starts shooting at them. Then, amidst the firing, Tech gets hit by a bullet and falls down there. Khazar retreats and escapes by water in a speedboat and goes into the sea and hands over the bags full of money to a cargo ship. On this side, Alex gets a call from that power plant in Hong Kong. He tells Alex that now our server room is much cooler than before. Now if you want, you can go inside and take out the hard drive. Then Alex reaches there with his team. As he was preparing to go inside wearing his suit, a staff member warned him that the temperature inside was still very high. You guys wouldn't be able to stay inside for more than 8 minutes. So finish your work quickly and leave. Alex and Nick also take a staff with them. But as soon as they enter the server room, the staff member faints due to inability to bear the heat. Nick immediately tells Alex to get out with it. I'll take out the hard drive. Then he breaks the server storage with an axe kept there and finally takes out the hard disk. Upon checking the recovered hard drive, it was found that half of the data on it had been damaged due to radiation. Even if they want, they cannot recover it completely. Nick then tells Carol that when I used to hack banks, I always deleted my code. So how did you guys recover my code? Then Carol says that NSA has a software called Black Widow with the help of which we recovered your code. But I don't think the US government will allow us to use this software in the case of China. Yet I will try. Carol then calls an NSA agent and asks for access to Black Widow. But that agent refuses to give access. Without that software, it was impossible to recover the code. But Nick says I can hack Black Widow and gain access. Hearing this, Carol is shocked and says that this is very risky, and if NSA finds out, then they will not leave you alive. Then Nick says we have no other way. You just tell me the name of some senior officer. I will access the system through him. Now Nick uses the name of a senior officer named Richard and gives the command to change the password of Black Widow. As soon as Richard changes the password, Nick gets the new password. Nick logs into the software and begins recovering the hacker's code. When the code is recovered, Nick receives an IP address. On tracing that IP address, he sees that the location is of a city in Jakarta. But the hacker's site is very secure. Therefore, they cannot access it directly. Then, after checking the transaction ID, Lien finds out that the hacker has purchased a photo of a location in Malaysia by making multiple payments to the satellite company. Hearing this, Nick becomes confused as to why the hacker wants a photo of that location. Meanwhile, the NSA discovers that Black Widow's software has been used. They report this to Alex's senior officer. Now the senior officer tells Alex that you have taken a big risk by taking Nick and your team, and I do not want our name to be tarnished in front of NSA. So hand over Nick to the Americans as soon as possible and solve the case yourself. Alex then texts Lien to run away with Nick. On the other hand, Henry also calls Carol and gets angry and says that Nick will now have to be removed from this case. Alex later meets Lien and Nick at a secret location. He says, I am not handing you over to the Americans, but Carol and Henry will find you. Therefore, we should go to Jakarta separately and meet there. But as Lien and Nick exit the car, Quasar blows up Alex's car with a rocket launcher. Seeing her brother die before her eyes, Lien breaks down in tears. Meanwhile, Carol also arrives there and a gunfight ensues with Khazar. But during the gunfight, Carol gets shot and dies on the spot. Seeing this, he runs away from there with Nicholas. They then meet with a mechanic to remove Nick's leg tracker, and Lien gets him a fake passport. Nick and Lien then arrive in Jakarta on a private jet. After reaching there, both of them go to that location. Reaching there, they see that it is a tin mining area. Nick understands the hackers' entire plan. Hackers hacked Hong Kong's power plant just to see if anyone could catch them. That was a kind of test for him. But their real plan is that they will hack the power plant here also, after which he will blast the biggest dam here, due to which all the mines here will be filled with water. There will be a shortage of tin in the market, and the price of tin will start skyrocketing. The hackers will already invest their stolen $74 million in tin shares, and as tin prices skyrocket, they will make an unimaginable amount of money overnight. Nick then sneaks into a tin mining office and steals the data from there. After checking the stolen data, he finds out that the hacker has kept the money in a local bank. Now Nick sends Lien to the local bank, where Lien tells the bank employee that I'm going to have an important meeting there. But my pen drive is not working. Can you check my pen drive on your system? The bank employee connects his pen drive with the CPU, and as soon as he connects, Nick gets complete control of the bank server, and Nick transfers the hacker's 74 million rupees from that bank to a Swiss bank. He also leaves a message for Khazar that if you want your money back, then contact me. Then Khazar calls him, after which Nick says that I know that you also have a boss, and if he wants his money back, then he will have to talk to me. Khazar then has Nick talk to his boss, Trank. Trank asks what you want. Nick says, I want to share in your upcoming project. Then Trank says, okay, I'm ready to give you the part. But first I want to meet you. Nick also agrees to meet her. Nick knew full well that Trung wasn't going to give him any share, but would instead double-cross him. So he goes there fully prepared. After reaching there, Nick is taken at gunpoint by Khazar. Khazar had killed Alex, who was his best friend. So Nick kills him to avenge his death. After this, indiscriminate firing takes place on Nick. He also gets shot, but he was wearing a bulletproof jacket, so he survives. He kills almost everyone there. But then Trung appears before him, who is the boss of them all. He injures Nick. There is a fight between the two, but Nick manages to kill him and escape. Nick then reaches out to Lien, whom he loves. Lien treats his wounds. After this, both of them leave that country and go towards some unknown place where the police cannot find them. He also has 74 million rupees from hackers which he transferred to his Swiss bank account, which means that he no longer lacks anything in life. And with this, the story ends here. Thanks for staying connected. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time for another exciting story.